Hey guys, Ningen here bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today, as you can see from the title, we're doing something a little bit interesting, something a little bit different. So we are taking on one of the OG stages of Super Battle Road, the versus Super Physical. So of course we have to bring a full Extreme STR team, and with the awakening, well the Easy A I should say, of Perfect Cell, making this work a little bit smoother, we are running a full Extreme STR Androids team. So obviously we are running double Android 21 leads. This is something that I had thought about way back when Android 21 first came out, but there wasn't really enough units to field a team that would actually be able to get through Super Battle Road. Like, I think there's like a summonable SR16 that I had to use. The 18 from the barbershop didn't have her awakening, which obviously now she's a very good support unit as well as a debuffer. And then of course Cell did not have his Easy A. He was still decent before, but he didn't really get any sort of defensive boost. His passive was literally just all attack focused. And then of course we didn't have any of the Dragon Ball Heroes stuff, so I decided to bring the Super Mirror, because he stacks his defense like 50% every time he super attacks, so he's really good. And then of course we have here, you can see in the first slot on this rotation, we have the Hellfighter 17, who was a recent reward from the World Tournament. Probably one of the best support units for the Android team. I mean, you can see there he has a built-in 50% chance to dodge, so he just straight up dodged both of those attacks. And then not only is he a support unit, but he lowers attack with his super as well. So just like we've talked about before on previous sort of Android team videos, a lot of units on this team can lower attack, which is really useful. It obviously means we're going to have to use less items in the long run. We also have the Android 21s, of course, both heal every time they super attack. And then Cell has the ability to heal if we get his 11 key super, which is then of course an AoE attack as well. So very useful for Super Battle Road. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem like there's any spot I can put him in here where we can actually get the 11 key. So I guess we'll just go all out. We'll grab all those orbs. At least that gives us the extra part of his passive where picking up 6 or more key orbs gives you the extra 30% attack. So he should hit really hard here. Like, obviously the OG stages of Super Battle Road, when you bring category teams into them, when you start bringing in hard hitting units, yeah, look at that, 1.5 million crit just takes out Yamcha. So strong units on under category leaders do kind of make a mockery of these original stages of Super Battle Road. But Cell is definitely the workhorse on the team. He is by far the hardest hitting unit. I mean, you can see here the Android 13 from the barbershop, not a particularly hard hitting unit, even though mine is Rainbow. I decided to Rainbow him because he does obviously get an awakening in the future when they release the Dokkan Fest Android 13. And to be honest, he's not really that impressive. Like, I thought he'd be good for this particular stage, because he has his passive is damage reduction 30% as long as he has 8 key or more. Now obviously on this team, especially with a few supports, it's not difficult to get 18 key. The problem is that passive is one of those ones that's worded in such a way that it doesn't calculate his key until he actually is ready to attack. So it means if you put him in the first slot on the rotation, before he actually gets his turn to go, his passive doesn't activate, which is something I hadn't realised until actually coming to use him, because let's be fair, you guys know I'm not exactly free to play. I have never used this Android 13 in any event before. And so yeah, that is a real letdown. I've talked about it in previous videos, but any unit that has a passive that specifies things like as the first attacker in the turn and stuff like that, those passives do not activate until that unit actually attacks. So any hits that they take in that very first slot, they take without their passive being active. And unfortunately, considering that he is a free-to-play unit, the Android 13, even rainbowed, he does not tank very well without his passive active. So we're going to have to try and keep him in the second slot if possible, because once he gets off his super, then obviously the 30% damage reduction is quite useful. but we do need to be careful, because like here for example, if we put him in the first spot, those 3 attacks are not going to go too well for us. So we're going to put Android 21 first. Obviously she does lower attack, she does heal as well, so it means if any of those 3 hits in the first slot are a super attack, at least we get an opportunity to recoup some of that health when she supers. And fortunately, like I say, Hellfighter 17, one of the best support units on the Android team if you're running a combination of androids and artificial life forms, because he has one of those double support passives that stacks if the unit is on both categories. So I think at some point we should probably get him onto main rotation with Cell, because unfortunately Cell, although he has shocking speed, the rest of his key links are not particularly great outside of linking him up with another Cell unit. And the Hellfighter 17, honestly, with that 50% chance to dodge, he's a unit that is not actually necessarily bad to have on main rotation. So I might actually pair him up with the Cell, because like as you can see here, neither of these units are giving him any key links whatsoever, and that's definitely not good. So ideally I want him to be able to super, because he is obviously the hardest hitting unit that we have. So we'll go ahead and put him in the middle, grab these for him. We obviously don't get his passive to activate, but at least we get to super. And then unfortunately no super for Mira as well. So even though the team is fully made up of Android units, as you can see, some of them don't link up the best. Now, one thing that works really well in our advantage for Super Battle Road is the fact that Cell has the passive of all enemies attack and defense minus 20% as long as there are 2 or more enemies. So obviously in the first few turns, even on these middle fights, because obviously all extreme SBR stages have a 2-man fight for fight 2 and 3. So obviously now, for example, we took out Piccolo, so that passive is not going to be active. But as you saw on that previous turn, like Android 21 doesn't have the best defense, but her being able to take double digits because Cell was on the rotation is obviously hugely beneficial for us. Like that factored in with things like her healing. The less damage we can take and the more we can heal back for free, obviously the less items we have to use overall. So I wonder if we'll actually get to see her transform at all in this, because I wonder if she links any better with Cell, because she technically absorbs Cell for her transformation, but I'm not sure. I can't remember how much her links actually change. I don't really run her on my main Androids team. She's got 150 across the board for leader skill, which is obviously good, but normally you prioritize bringing the MVP 17 because he has the higher attack stat, or of course we now have the LR physical androids that have the 150%, and I think it's fairly hard to argue that overall they are a better unit than Android 21. So, but obviously can't do that here. We got to run a full extreme STR team, so Android 21 at least coming in handy with all of the healing and the attack debuff. I've talked about this a lot in other videos, especially the no item runs on Super Battle Road. The attack lowering is incredibly useful in these modes, because you know, we're going on for quite a significant amount of time, the enemies can deal a significant amount of damage, and we only have a limited amount of items, while super attacks can still deal pretty big damage. Lowering their attack to the point where normal attacks basically can't hurt you makes it so that these stages are incredibly easy to clear. And STR Cell coming in with the additional super to finish off Gotenks, and we can go on to fight number 3, Vegeta and Trunks, and we have the Dokkan bar fairly full. So ideally what I want to do here, I'm going to pop a Princess Snake just so we can heal a little bit, get that little bit of damage reduction. I just need to survive this turn without triggering the Dokkan attack, because then we can get it next turn with STR Cell, who obviously, as we've already been over, is by far the hardest hitting unit on the team. So if we're going to get a Dokkan attack with anyone, then we need to get it with him, because we definitely have the potential to one-shot both of these guys here. So I'm going to target Trunks with 21, just to put a bit of attack lowering on him as well, since he is attacking her in that final slot. But just because it puts a little bit of damage onto him as well as Vegeta, because that should hopefully help us with the Dokkan attack actually being able to kill everyone. So, but yeah, you can see Android 13 he's doing okay. He's definitely not the best. My Mira only has one dupe. Obviously the new Heroes banner is going to be coming in the next couple of days. Unfortunately, he and most of the other units will be unfeatured, so the chances of pulling them are very unlikely. But he only has one dupe in him. I would definitely prefer more to make this run go a little bit smoothly. But like I say, he's one of the few units in the game that stacks his defense by 50% each time he supers. I think in Goku Black is one of the only other ones that increases it by quite so much per super attack. So this should be big here because we've got Hellfighter 17 and we've got Android 18 on rotation, so 2 support units. Of course we missed one, so I guess we're going to do slightly less damage here, but he's still clocking in at over a 2.2 million attack stat under double 150 leaders, so definitely not too shabby. Can we get a crit here? Okay, no crit, but we do over 3 million damage. So Vegeta at least survived, because apparently he's going to super attack. Oh, okay, so Trunks also survived and is also going to super attack. Are we going to die? No, we should be fine. So, okay, so outside of the supers, they don't actually deal any damage to us. Unfortunately, the Dokkan attack dealing so much damage there means that we are going to get a full heal at the start of next turn. So hopefully 18 can take out Trunks here. Okay, yeah, she does. Alright, so Vegeta has the tiniest sliver of health. Should be pretty easy to finish him off here. I'm actually going to let Mira go, because he will deal quite a significant bit more damage than the Android 13. So, good thing about this as well is we are going to go into the next fight with Cell on rotation, which is very useful considering not only his debuff, but the potential to get the AoE super attack as well. So we finish off Vegeta and we can move into the final fight here. Super Sentai Goku. Oh, this is the 5-man fight. Okay, so this is good and bad in these OG Super Battle Road stages. When you get the final fight with this many opponents, each one of them has less health and technically deals less damage per attack, but there's 5 of them, so you know what our Super Battle Road luck has been like in the past. There is definitely the possibility that we could take multiple super attacks in this one turn, which would not be ideal. Also, this orb layout is not helpful. It's not stopping us from getting supers with anyone, but it's proving very difficult to get 3 key for Cell. So yeah, I don't seem to be able to get 3 key at all. And obviously I'm not going to float him off, like he needs to be on main rotation. So I guess we'll just have to go ahead and do a normal super attack. I'll target Trunks here because he probably out of everyone on the rotation has the least health. So considering the performance that we've seen so far from Cell, we probably will one-shot Trunks here. So I'll get 21 to attack Vegeta. Hellfighter 17 is attacking Goku, and obviously we want to get some attack lowering sort of spread out across the various different enemies. Dodge this. There we go. So yeah, Hellfighter 17 super useful. Like, look at that, 4 attacks, 3 dodges, and one of them was the super, so that's really big. Like, him only taking 8,000 damage from facing down 4 attacks is very, very good indeed. And then of course Cell just going to take double digits, and then 21 going to give us that nice little bit of a heal back as well. So I mean, you can see just from the amount of damage that she did to Vegeta, the fact that these guys don't have as much health. So this is not the best rotation. All the attacks are in the last spot, so I don't really want to put Android 18 there. As a support unit I did give her full dodge, but for an STR unit that is only 15 dodge, so 15% chance, and then other than that her defense is not particularly great. So we'll go ahead and put Mira in the final spot. He is at least going to give himself that defense buff, so that combined with the support from Android 18, we should be okay. I think we still have a defensive item active as well, I'm not sure. But I don't think we'd be in danger of dying in this one turn. I guess unless everybody super attacks. But yeah, see, 13's still taking double digits. So yeah, we must still have the defensive item active here. So Mira with that big defense buff. Yeah, he's only taking a couple of thousand. That's perfectly fine. So, I mean, even if we take like 2 supers now, we are not in any danger of dying. So yeah, 96k. Still pretty decent amount, but we find ourselves at about 70% HP. So not too bad. Can we actually get 3 key? Oh, we can. So we can get 3 key with Cell. And his passive is still active due to the multiple opponents. So he's going to take basically no damage from those 2 attacks there. So let's get Hellfighter 17 to attack Goten. And we'll get 21 to attack Goku. Just because he's attacking her at the end. He probably will survive the AoE. So might as well put a little bit more attack lowering on him to protect 21. And then of course the bonus as well, as I think I mentioned earlier, Cell does actually heal, I think it's 10% when he does his 11 key super. So not only do we get the AoE, takes out Vegeta, Goten and Gohan are quite low, and then yeah, that gives us a little bit of a heal as well. So, and then we get a heal from 21. Yeah, this is looking real good. We're going to end this turn very close to full health, unless of course Goku super attacks 21. Now there we go, good stuff. So we should be able to finish off Goten and maybe Gohan on this rotation. Maybe not, because 13 and 18 are not particularly hard hitters here. I think it's probably better to get some more attack lowering on Goku just to kind of protect 18 in that final slot. Because also this way, by leaving multiple opponents still alive, that means we still get Cell's passive to activate and nerf everybody's attack on the next turn. So, well, 13 almost took out Goten, and then showing off there with a couple of dodges, but we didn't quite take him out. So 21 and 18 going to lower Goku's attack here. So he should do next to no damage to 18, even if she doesn't dodge. So, oh, the additional normal attack, enough to take out Goku. Look at that. So, the fact that Goten wasn't taken out is actually really good, because it means Cell's passive is still going to be active. We can't get the AoE, but we can give him 6 orbs. So, with that extra bit of his passive, he is going to annihilate Gohan here. And then, since Goten's health bar is basically invisible at this point, Hellfighter 17 should be able to finish him off. So, yeah, 1.8 million from Cell, okay. So, goodbye Gohan, and Goten should be done. That's not actually bad damage considering he's a support unit, so there you go. So, we take them all out, and we can proceed to the end. So, there you go. That is a full Extreme STR Androids team versus the super physical stage of Super Battle Road. I do like doing these kind of weird like themes on Super Battle Road stages. It's a lot of fun. Plus, you know, your boy is the king of Super Battle Road. We gotta mix it up and keep it fresh. So there you go. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. We have the like goal today set at 75. If we reach that, then obviously, as I said, when I record tomorrow's video, there will be a bonus single summon at the start. Been a bit shaky on hitting the goal lately, so show me, you guys, that we can do it. Super Battle Road videos usually get quite a lot of views, so that's why the goal is set as it is. Let's smash it and get that single summon. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Master Ningen. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord. The link is in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.